Right,
That is
all right.
So the next two discussions are literally called the state of corporate innovation and then innovation is everywhere. These are really big ideas. I don't know how else to say it. I won't ask you what is the state of corporate innovation, but in your capacity, you get to interact with all the major corporations that have been mentioned so far this morning and more, in order to connect them to the right kinds of startup leadership. So what is the appetite looking like, and an additional question, what makes for successful startup corporate collaboration?
Okay, there's a lot of questions there.
Yeah.
So we have
Trying to ruin your Friday. That's my that's my goal.
and the whole weekend,
The
right?
whole weekend, exactly. Just have you think about it all weekend.
Okay, so we find the corporate a whole spectrum of corporate knowledge around startups and accelerators, and some of them are very early and they don't know how to get started, and some of them already have their own and they run them internally, and they're looking for other avenues. And in our world, that means we're expanding beyond our, and I'm going to correct Jenny, I don't know if she's still here or not, we have 51 accelerators now.
Not 48.
No, 51. And we've run over 175 accelerators since inception. So in terms of that, obviously we have a lot of corporate partners that are interested in that, and I can dig in that a little bit more. But we're also looking to expand and get creative outside of that, and that's to meet the spectrum of interest in accelerators now. And that includes pre-accelerators and late-stage accelerators, along with our seed-stage accelerators, and also stepping out into other things. We have a gamer challenge and programs like that. So
I just learned what a gamer challenge was yesterday. I had no idea this was even an option. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really entrepreneur tourism now, and the final will be in a nice exotic location.
Well, so yeah, what does that mean? I mean, depending on the corporate partner you're working with, especially for these verticalized programs, do they have opinions on the kind of companies they're looking for? And as a result, do they require, hey, we're looking at seed stage businesses, we're looking at late stage businesses, we're looking at cost cutting opportunities, we're looking at investment opportunities. How involved are they in those discussions with you, and vice versa? How involved are you with them?
Okay, so every corporation we're glued at the hip together.
Sure.
So they're our partners. So as Jenny said, we have about, I'm going to say 40 of our accelerators are partner-based. Most of them are single partners, but some of them are with a consortium of partners. And we share the whole process with them, from recruiting to hiring our managing directors to the demo day. So that's part of our.
I have a full disclosure. When I worked at Barclays, I was involved in the selection committee for the Barclays Accelerator, and I saw that corporate relationship work firsthand. Would you mind walking people through some of that process? Because I think that's one of the more exciting elements of corporate acceleration is the actual getting in the room, not unlike today, where a bunch of executives and the Techstars staff all come together to decide who's the best fit for a cohort.
Okay, so let me start from the beginning. Techstars runs over 1,100 events around the world in 700 cities. So I think we have an unparalleled reach to entrepreneurs, and that's why people want to come to ours. We had over 25,000 applications last year, and we accepted about 500 companies. And the average accelerator gets somewhere between 500 to 700 applications. So half of them probably we eliminate right away. And then we get serious around 100. And with our partners, a selection committee is set up, and we go through each application one by one, and we get it down to 40, and then to 20, and then the selection committee comes in, and it's made up of both Techstars and our partners. And this has all been built around a theme before that. And we start with a wide theme, and then we have sub-themes and so forth. And then the hard part is to get from 20 to 10, and then we
and that's the filter.
Yeah, and that's the filter.
So what are some of the, I guess, advice for the entrepreneurs in the room? As any entrepreneurs are thinking about working with a corporate, or they find a specific verticalized corporate program appealing, what advice might you have from your position for how they position themselves?
So first of all, we have an open application process, and you can certainly identify one in particular you're interested in, but we may see you fitting another one. So I would suggest that you be open more than anything. That certainly put your first choice down, but be open to perhaps we see you as a better fit in one of our other accelerators. And in terms of the applications, it's going to be a lengthy process, and you need to really be prepared. And we're looking for three things, really. The founder first. Who are they? Mm-hmm. And it's about founder, and then the concept, and then is it scalable?
Right.
So you need to think of all those things about your idea before you put your application in.
That's very helpful, and sort of true for most accelerators. I mean, that's that.
Right.
So it's the same filter process. And finally, before we open up to the floor, how has the appetite changed on the part of major enterprises towards the accelerator model? You know, as more and more of these find success, as more and more cohorts come together, have you found that anywhere in the world where there's a corporate appetite for innovation, they're considering accelerators, or do they now have enough data on their side to decide, hey, we don't really want a traditional program, we want a lab, or hey, we don't actually want that, we want a hackathon? You know, what's happened as the landscape has become more mature?
So I think we see different approaches by different companies. The ones that are further along view working with startups and even later stage as investing, and it's a portfolio effect. So they have a venture, typically they may have a venture arm. They may even do their own financings at a bank, through their own banks. And then they want to also reach startups through accelerators. And my biggest competition is internal versus external, inside out versus outside in. So the outside in approach is, they come to us because they failed usually doing it on the inside.
Right.
But the one thing I do want to say that's really important is that everybody has to, the corporates have to realize that this is one cohort's not going to make a difference. This is a long-term play, and they need to think about it for 5 to 7 years. And we know from our data, and I know there was a discussion about ROI, and I wanted to say something about this, that what we want to offer them is continuous innovation from an outside point of view. And if you stick with this, we know after 5 years, there's a return, and after 7 years, it can start to evergreen, and then therefore you have this continuous ongoing innovation and potential to protect yourself from disruption.
It's why setting yourself up as their partner makes so much sense. It's like, hey, we're going to work with you in the long haul. We need to all like each other. You're not going to be able to change your whole company with one cohort.
Correct, and it's more than that. It's Techstars for life. So we, with over now about 1,800 founders in our portfolio, we are continuously in touch and measuring their success. We know what the average raise is after each demo day, and we have everybody gets touched continually. We have 250 people at Techstars, and it's a lot of people's job is to stay in touch with our corporates, and we run FounderCon, and we get them in front of investors continually. And we have some other innovation coming down the line that will keep our founders in front of investors.
Exciting. I mean, genuinely about as cool as it gets. So we have an opportunity. I think we're doing okay on time. We have an opportunity for some questions. Anyone have questions for Jeremy? Yes, Victor first. Oh, sorry. We got to get the right microphone for you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Gentleman in the back.
So thank you. My name is Victor Padilla, and I work at the newest Center for Innovation at Yale University. And my question to you, Jeremy, is what do you think of the statement that Jeremy Hill, sorry, not Jeremy, it's John Hill made earlier about corporates not having a plan? Do you agree with that statement?
So I missed the statement. I came later, but I do happen to know John Hill. So what did he say exactly?
So he was saying that corporates don't have a plan regarding, their relationship with founders. They're sort of trying to, find their way. And it seems that you think that the way is a long-term way, engagement with founders, 5 years, 7 years, many cohorts. And so I was curious that, based on your experience, if you agree with that corporate America, for example, does not have a clue on how to manage these relationships.
Most of them don't, and that's why they go to all these accelerators that are here today, because they don't have the experience and they don't know how to do it, or they've tried and they've failed. They've picked the wrong companies. And you know, it's hard to match our global reach with 1,100 events in 700 cities in the way we can recruit and bring the top founders, top 1% of founders to a program. But one of the keys to our program, and it encourages engagement, and if they're not willing to do this, it's not going to work, is mentorship. We require a lot of mentors at our program. Now, our partner can they can give us 10 mentors or they can give us 30 mentors. But if they don't make that commitment, they won't get the engagement. So it's important for us to know, don't do this unless you're willing to, you have the people and the time, and usually it grows and everybody wants to volunteer and be a mentor. But without that mentorship component, and I'm going to say that 49 of our accelerators are in residence, and we bring everybody to the location, and that should help engagement too. If you're not willing, that's the critical part from our view, and that's why we have so many.
Just a quick check on the appropriation there. We looked at the live stream, and it was Google. I don't think John said the corporate statement.
Other questions? Yes, over here, ma'am. Doug, if we just mic right there and then right over there.
So one of the benefits you mentioned why corporates get involved with Techstars is to find potential startups they want to acquire. The other benefit, so I work for a company called MathWorks, and one of the benefits that I see in partnering with Techstars and organizations such as this is finding future customers or understanding the trends that are in the industry. And my question is, how do we better partner with organizations such as Techstars in helping drive that and supporting these organizations in building their product and those sort of things? Because right now we are a perk, we are a vendor, but we really want to build on that relationship, and we don't know how to.
I'm not sure I completely understand the
How do you, as a vendor, how do you build a stronger relationship with the corporate client, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So is that maybe a sub question there for you would be like, when you watch a startup engage with the corporate, what is the post demo day relationship like? How can you stay involved as a small company work with a big company?
So every corporate partner is different.
Right.
A good example is Stanley Black & Decker, where we have a program in Hartford.
Yeah.
We say Techstars for life, and we continually run programs semi-annually to get our founders in front of corporates and our other partners. So any partner can go to any one of our demo days, but we have what we call FounderCon, and one of the days is for our corporate partners to meet our portfolio, and another is for the venture community. But in general, to stay in touch, we do that. We make sure that there's continual touch to our founders and putting them in front of opportunities.
Okay.
Cool. Right over here on the aisle. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Isata. I just recently started working with XRC Labs. You mentioned, we're talking about selection committee and your process of choosing themes and sub-themes. I wanted to see if you could dive a little bit deeper into that identification process of choosing themes and sub-themes, and if that is, if you all at Techstars consider that to be like a differentiator for you.
I think everybody probably does a good job on themes and that they want for their accelerators. So once we sign an agreement with a corporate partner, we'll go in and we'll keep the theme broad to start, because we don't want to immediately eliminate the application pool, right? And then we'll look at the sub-themes. And then don't forget, I have 250 people behind me in Boulder that will also then go out and make sure that theme is viable. So we don't want you to get 100 applications. We want you to get, what we did one for Stanley Black & Decker around additive manufacturing. We knew that would be a narrow theme, but we still got just over 200 applications. So we will do that research to make sure the theme's viable. And if it's not a viable theme, we're not going to do the accelerator.
One last question right over here, sir.
Hi, Ricardo from Beta in Lisbon, Portugal. Two very quick questions. One, how much time does it take for you guys to go from talking with a corporate that's in denial of working with you guys or working in corporate innovation, open innovation, to the point where they say, okay, let's go? And how do you work with the corporates that basically had already the experience of working in a corporate innovation program before and were burned of the experience? And then how do you convince them to come back again to work on the innovation?
Okay, my average sales cycle is 9 months. And in terms of getting them to come back, well, we would encourage everybody to come and be a mentor at any one of our programs to get the feel for it and really how it works, because once they have that experience, they'll understand why they failed and how they didn't choose the right companies. So it may be a slow process, but we're willing to wait for them to sit and be a mentor. And we hook them up to be the mentors. Our mentor network is over 10,000 people strong.
Unfortunately, I think we're actually wrapped. If you guys can do any offsite conversations, and by offsite, I mean literally just off the stage. We are moving on to our next panel, but let's give a warm round of applause for Jeremy. Thank you so much, my friend. That was awesome. Thank you.
Great to see you. Great shirt.